Today I'm going to be doing a review on the, left a beer in the frame, one of those kinds of days. Let's set that out of the way for now. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. So in today's video, I wanted to actually do a real quick review. I ran out to Harbor Freight over to the weekend and I picked up one of these Daytona jacks. And it's a tool review that I'm going to do only because I genuinely think this is an awesome jack. I do quite a bit of wrenching on my truck, my car, my bike, all these things, and I lacked a jack. And part of that reason is I just moved to the place I'm in now, where you see I've been doing a lot of filming, from an apartment. And the apartment that I was in, I wasn't going to have a 100-pound floor jack, or I believe this is like 75-pound floor jack, that I was going to haul back and forth between my apartment and my covered parking space. Just wasn't really a great setup. So now that I have a garage, I really was in the market for a floor jack. So I started looking around, and then I thought I should go take a look at Harbor Freight. So I shot over there, and when I got to Harbor Freight just to kind of look around, I saw they had a Pittsburgh 3-ton floor jack for, it was about $100. And then I saw these Daytonas for $139, which I do believe they are typically more towards the $200 range. I think they have a sale on them currently, but regardless, I looked back and forth at these two jacks for about an hour, and spec for spec, they're pretty close. So what it came down to, it was, did I want to pay an extra $40 for a nicer powder coat finish, and then they have a little rubber pad that's sitting on the saddle? Those are the two differences I could tell right away. But then I started looking at build quality and questioning, is this Daytona a better jack when it comes to components? And the answer is, I still really don't know. So as I stood there in the aisle, annoying anybody who was trying to walk by me, as I'm just staring at these jacks like a lunatic, trying to figure out which one I was going to buy, I pulled up my phone and went to start reading reviews. And that made it even more complicated, because while the cheaper Pittsburgh jack had 4.5 stars, and I believe it's out of, as of right now, 803 reviews, 4.5 stars. And I like to read the reviews before I buy anything like this, especially a jack that you anticipate having for years, really. You really want to pay attention and be an educated consumer. So naturally what I do when I'm reading reviews is, well, I don't read them. And it sounds stupid, but out of that 803 reviews, I don't need to read all of the best of the best. I actually prefer to go and find the 1-star reviews and read those, because those are the most telling. What I'll do then generally is just look at, okay, so it has 4.5 stars, but if there's 800 reviews and there's maybe 100 of them are 1-star reviews, and then the rest are just all 5 stars, I tend to try to figure it out based on that. Well, with the Pittsburgh floor jack, there are 0 1-star reviews out of 803. And right off the bat, that tells me this is a quality product. They've been selling it for a long time. So then I look at the Daytona, and it has about 300 reviews, again, 4.5 stars or better. And it has 4 out of those 300, which are 1 star. So really both are incredible quality jacks. So when it comes down to it, if it's really that good of a product and everybody's having such great success with it, I'll spring the extra $40 and buy the nicer jack. That was kind of my thought process. So now I'll take you through a real quick unboxing of this floor jack. It's really nothing to unbox. I mean, you pull the jack out, you put the handle in, you screw down the bolt for the handle, and that's your jack. There's a little rubber piece you pull out, which was in there for shipping, and I mean, it's one of the more simple unboxings that you possibly could have. So as you can see, it's super easy to push around, and right out of the box, I can tell it's a quality product and impressive from Harbor Freight. So the reason why I even went to look for this floor jack was I had to do a tire rotation on my truck, but my Crown Vic was in the garage when I opened this up, and I couldn't help myself but to throw it underneath the Crown Vic, jack it up real quick, and see how it worked, just trying to play with it a little bit. So as you can see here, it lifts it up really with ease. Now, I know a lot of guys in the comments are going to say you don't put a jack where you have a saw cut or a joint in concrete, because the jack's got it. I wasn't actually working on this Crown Vic. It was legitimately just a matter of lifting the car up and playing with my new toy. So I pulled out the Crown Vic and brought the truck in, and this was where I needed this jack for the tire rotation. This is a 2015 GMC Sierra, so it weighs just over 4,000 pounds, somewhere in that range. So call it a 2-ton truck. as far as weight goes, and the Daytona, the jack, is a 3-ton jack, so well within its capacity. And as you can see, after I get this Daytona jack underneath the truck, really nice. I mean, I'm really pleasantly surprised with this, and the whole reason why I'm doing this review, again, I really have no financial gain with this. I have no relationship with Harbor Freight whatsoever. I really thought this was a great product and wanted to share with my viewers. If you're out there in the market for a floor jack, I don't think you can go wrong with this Daytona. Now, if you are looking at these jacks and they're back to what their regular prices are, I think it's about $200 for this one here, or the Pittsburgh version, which is maybe $120 somewhere normally, I believe. I'm not sure if I would pay the premium for the Daytona, but I certainly wouldn't say don't pay the premium, because it really is a nice product. Now, I bought this. It was $139, and Harbor Freight always has coupons that you can scan at the register, so always look for those. So I walked out the door with this Daytona jack for $118.99, which is a total steal in my opinion. I mean, I couldn't find any other jack that I would spend that kind of money on. I think Costco had an Arcan for, I want to say $150 or somewhere in that range. So even that was more expensive. And then the jack stands were $23 a piece. I probably will be upgrading to a lockable jack stand. I believe they have a 6-ton pair for like $30 on Amazon. So I think I'm going to upgrade to those just because I like the idea of being able to have a fail-safe on the jack stands, because I don't want my car falling on my head. So, call me a pussy if you will. But, yeah, just kind of prefer to operate a little safer than maybe what the standard jack stands will provide. So the other thing I found very interesting is, which other people have mentioned this, so I'm not the first one. It's not like a discovery by no means of mine, but the fact that Snap-on Tools had a lawsuit against Harbor Freight, which was actually settled out of court. Don't know what the terms of that settlement were, but if Harbor Freight is still selling this jack, I would assume that, well, first of all, the courts didn't find any patent infringement, maybe. I don't know a whole lot about the case itself, but they were sued for, I believe it was design of the jack. And in my opinion, that actually helps substantiate the fact that this Daytona jack is something worth looking into, because if a company like Snap-on, who sells tools, in my opinion, incredibly inflated, that's like an understatement. The Snap-on version or their jack is like over $600, and whoever out there is spending $600 on a floor jack, I don't get it. At that point, you might as well spend another couple hundred. I think for like $1,000 or somewhere just over $1,000, you can actually get like a hydraulic lift for your garage. So why anybody would spend $600 and you can call it a pro tool, whatever. If I could buy 3 of these Daytonas in my lifetime for $100, I'm still ahead $300. So, and there's a good chance that this Daytona will just last me forever. So, in my opinion, the fact that Snap-on even sued them for design infringements or whatever just kind of substantiates that, it's got to be a decent product if they're going after them for it. But maybe that's not the way things work. But in my head, it kind of computes. With that being said, again, I just wanted to throw a review up of this Daytona jack because in just a day of using it, think it's amazing. For the price, you can't beat it. It looks great sitting in the garage. So just in general, I'm really a fanboy of the Daytona Harbor Freight jack. Now, if you're watching this video a year or 2 years after I've posted it, these things go on forever, drop a comment down below. Ask me how it's still holding up. I'll tell you. I don't always put out update videos on all these products that I do reviews on, only because there's a lot of them and there's not a lot of content there, so I don't tend to get into these updates. But feel free to ask me in the comments down below the experience I'm still having with the jack, and I'll communicate with you down there. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.